been a lot of debate about reviews, bloggers and YouTube reviewers of underground movies. And my big thing is that a lot of these people, myself included, are just not qualified to review films or art. To apply some critical analysis to these things means that you know what you're talking about, and like you have the tools to really present this stuff to the public. We all have an impact on these movies because they're so small. So if we go post a video or we write something and post it on a site, these are going to be the things that show up right away in search results. So I mean, if a movie is not very good within this small culture, no one will talk about it and it'll just kind of die out. But if a movie is being talked about, then chances are it's something that you want to see. And also, I mean, does the word review mean I like it or don't like it? The whole star system, that's sort of something that like newspapers brought in. It's sort of a modern way of reviewing movies. You're really just supposed to look at what it is. I mean, like, I've explained in a previous video that when I was at Columbia College, we had this story workshop method where we were only supposed to, instead of criticizing each other's work, what we did was we just said what we remembered from the story. And this isn't like a box synopsis. This is something that like your overall impressions of what it was, what worked. And if you don't talk about something, then chances are it didn't work. So the movies that I post about are movies that I'm excited to see and that I enjoy watching. I like underground films, and I can usually understand what these individual directors are trying to get at. I also can relate to them just in their struggles with working on limited resources. So, whatever. I'm trying to, make these movies as fun as they are. And so, I mean, to say it's not a masterpiece, it's kind of just like silly. Anyway, so Death-scort Service. This is a fun film by Sean Donahue. It's a Gator Blade Sleazebox co-production. Chris Woods has a co-writing credit. And it's got all the familiar faces from the Tampa scene. Crystal Adams, Ashley Lynn Caputo, Bob Glazier, Bob Glazier's Dick. Everybody's in this movie. And it's different than Die Die Delta Pi. Die Die Delta Pi is kind of like a little bit more story driven. This one is more focused on sex and violence and just a lot of images of that. But there is still a story, and it still has that humor that you see in Sean's other films. And Sean's a lot like Russ Meyer. He likes to have his movie set be nothing but women. And like, so, the male roles are limited. And it takes place. It starts with these prostitutes, and they're living together, and they're like doing their makeup and stuff, and it's got this '80s music that is familiar from anyone who's seen Die Die Delta Pi would kind of think it's familiar. And like the opening song, the theme song to this movie is really good. And when I was watching it, it just kind of like it set a really good tone. So yeah, they use it as a theme throughout the movie. It's sort of like the killer's theme. So these women are sort of tormented by a voice on the phone. It's like, I want to go on a date. Like, they meet me on, like this like menacing, like person on the phone, and we don't see this person. And so there are all these killings. This is a slasher movie, and the gore is it definitely is pretty extreme. Marcus Cook had a hand in it, and there's some just guts and sloppy stuff and blood and some real satisfying and there's also some real weird imagery. There's this I don't want to spoil the movie, but there's sort of this thing that the killer creates, like with some eyeballs, and it's very strange. It's definitely memorable, and yeah, it's like I said, it's kind of like a modern day Russ Meyer movie. Russ Meyer is black and white. Well, his early films are like the ones that like Faster Pussycat Kill Kill, but like his later films were color, but it was that early 60s kind of technicolor. Sean likes that digital color, so there's like some color correction. There's also a lot of use of colored lamps and stuff, and it definitely sets a good vibe. And I don't know, these films are very much his, and so I don't know, that's why I think they stand out. And yeah, it's it's definitely a cool movie, and you should check it out. The DVD pre-sale hasn't started yet. I don't believe, but the movie's premiering in August. I think August 29th in Florida. And yeah, there's nothing but good things that I've read about this movie. And I watched it a couple weeks ago, and then I just watched it again. And it was just as good as I remembered. So yeah, Pain Shack is available at RSStBe.storenvy.com. $15 for a 2-disc set. We also have RSStB in individual seasons, 3 discs each. There are 5 seasons. There's been a 5th one added, so if anyone's bought the old 12 disc, you can update that. And yeah, so cool. I'll talk to you later. Thanks.